In his confrontation with Goliath, David fully relied on God for victory. Goliath was a valiant Philistine warrior. His size was prodigious and his armor was unmatched, and his challenge unchallenged. He was the fiercest and most powerful opponent the Israelites had ever seen. For 40 days, he bellowed defiance at the Israelites twice a day, sending them into fear and panic. It is important to note that as much as the words of Goliath aroused fear in many, they stirred up faith in David. He did not allow himself to be intimidated by the gigantic Goliath. There is an African proverb that says, "You can judge the size of a person not by the size of his body, but by the size of the problem he's willing to face." Though small-bodied, David relied on God and was not overwhelmed by the humongous challenge ahead of him. Instead, he fully relied on God for victory. In 1 Samuel chapter 17 and verse 45, David said to Goliath, "You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty." Wow, I like that. But I come to you in the name of the Lord Almighty. You know, the people saw Goliath, but David saw God. The people saw the problem, but David saw the potential. The people saw Goliath as too big to hit, but David saw him as too big to miss. The people wanted to escape, but David wanted to go and get rid of Goliath. The people saw an invincible giant, but David saw a man who was not in a covenant relationship with God. The people thought Goliath could not possibly lose, but David thought Goliath could not possibly win. It is interesting that they also the same giant and had the same thundering threats, yet David viewed them differently. He fully relied on the all-powerful God as he confronted Goliath. And with God's help, David was able to bring down the invincible Goliath with a simple sling. Friends, in the face of the challenges of life, we need to fully rely on God for victory. Behind the challenges we face is an all-powerful, all-loving God. There is no human or demonic power that can stand in his way. As we rely on him, out of our greatest challenges can come our greatest victories. Remember this: the challenges ahead of you are not greater than the power behind you. When faced with challenges, let us never forget that God is bigger than our problems, and greater is He that is in us than he that is in the world. It is my sincere prayer that we would learn to fully rely on God in the midst of life's challenges. Amen.